All right, guys, in this video, we're going over Unit 1A Quiz Form C, and this is page 3 of Form C. Okay, in this one, it is a calculator section, so you were able to use that calculator to your advantage. So taking a look at the first one, we're going to go ahead and break this up. Well, let's think. What can I divide out of 108? And we want to be strategic. We want to try and divide perfect squares out of 108. So maybe we can look into 4 as an option, 108 divided by 4. That works. Maybe, let's try another one, 108 divided by 36. Let's see, 36 times 3. Okay, then my next piece, if I have an odd exponent, you're going to have to break that up by taking one of them out, and you're going to leave an even and an odd situation. Now, this piece is perfect, this piece is perfect, so these are the pieces that I can take out of the radical on my next step. The square root of 36 is 6, so that's done. The square root of x to the 4th is x to the 2nd. Remember that when you're taking the square root with this exponent, you're just dividing the exponent by 2. And what's left underneath? A 3 and an x. And that would be my final answer. All right, moving over here to subtraction. Remember, in order to add and subtract radicals, they have to be like terms. Right now, they're not like terms because they don't have the same number under the radical. But let's see if when we simplify, if anything works out to where we can combine. So 9 times 5. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take the square root of 9. When you take the square root of 9, you multiply it out front. Negative 2 times 3, that's negative 6, and then you have a rad 5 left underneath. Okay, now that I've done that, these are like terms, and so you can combine the coefficients. What's negative 3 minus 6? That's negative 9 rad 5 as my final answer. Remember, when adding and subtracting with radicals or with polynomials, you are just combining the coefficients, the number in front. All right, coming down here, we have a distribution case, which means we're going to be multiplying. So we're going to distribute this one. Remember, with multiplication, you do outside times outside. So 1 times 4 is 4. Inside times inside is 30. Then I'm subtracting that to my next distribution. Outside times outside, inside times inside. Now, some of you guys stopped here, and if you stopped here, this was not completely simplified. Okay, the square root of 25, I actually know what the square root of 25 is. That's going to be 9 times 5. So my final answer is 4 rad 30 minus 45. All right, moving on to this next one. Let's see, 252 divided by, let's play around with some of our perfect squares. I'm just going to start dividing in my calculator. Just so you have an idea of what I'm doing when I do have a calculator, every single time I'm trying to divide something, I'm taking out a perfect square. So 16, 4, 36. Well, this one, 36 goes into that 7 times. And then a to the 12th, I don't need to break up. If it's raised to an even exponent, it is perfect, and you can take the square root. So I highlighted the perfect pieces. Those are the pieces that are coming out. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of a to the 12th is a to the 6th. Those are now done, and you only have a 7 left underneath the radical. Remember, once you take the square root of something, it's no longer under the radical. All right, this looks scary to students for some reason, but let's think about a simpler case. What if I just had x plus 5 equals 45? Right? How would you solve that? Well, you need to get x alone. So I'm going to subtract 5. That'll leave me with just x. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other. So in this case, x would be 40. We're going to apply this same logic. We're just going to do it with radicals. So it looks like we're going to be subtracting radicals, which is a skill we've introduced. I'm going to subtract rad 5 from both sides. So I have x equals 2 rad 45 minus rad 5, right? They cancel it out over here. Well, you cannot add or subtract radicals unless they're like terms. At the moment, they're not like terms, but maybe when I simplify, they will become like terms. Okay, I divided out the perfect square, 9. Okay, the square root of 9 is 3. You're going to multiply that out front. 2 times 3 is 6. Now remember, you're combining the coefficients. What is 6 minus 1? 6 minus 1 is 5. So you have 5 rad 5s in this example.